adjustments, and it was the players who were able to make them who came out on top and had the best displays we saw all season and the best displays that we saw during the World Championship. So I've kind of got my eyes on KLA's Fang now, seeing that they were able to do that and seeing how good their decision making was. I'm expecting a lot out of them, Dobby.
I'm hoping to see more coming out of some of these other players here. Obviously, we're seeing the confidence coming from Fang here, and I'm hoping that at least he keeps that same momentum, and it makes everybody else get a little bit more hungry as we lock in for our game number 3. Man from the top of the hour, Fang clutching up game 2. Let's see who's going to rock it down for game number 3. Head tied, but there's 3 main players that's going to be inside of Celestial Corridor and Wind Howl Force, all the way in that very left section of where Celestia is, as ALei and Fang immediately are going to fight this out. We're going to see a fist fight right towards the very end, right in the middle into the cave here, as we see a blue katana and nunchucks immediately coming in. It looks like dual swords coming in from ALei here. Looks like they both have very good, decent loot here. One has blue, the other has gray. So this could be the opportunity that Fang can have here. He does have the confidence. He does have that blue, so he really could push in and be very, very aggressive, but it doesn't look like they're really trying to here. They just want to see what type of loot they can get before they can force their hands. And immediately, ALei gets absolutely massacred by one Fang, getting pushed into a corner, immediately shredded, and finished for our first elim of the game here. Fang coming in immediately strong with that, as Wang Liang already collects 2 eliminations so far to start the game off strong, as T225 struggling to try to see maybe he can get at least anything better. He has a gray dagger, not going to be enough here. Shuyong is going to be able to push in, keeping that same aggression all the way towards it. He's going to go off the cliff, all the way down towards the very bottom. We're rotating into Celestia here, into the massive Shrine of the Sun, and immediately rotating this in, keeping the same aggression, catching on the door, but oh no! Daniel snatches the elimination onto Shuyong, and it looks like there goes some payback from the man himself.
Alliance's Jin pushing in for the 4th party here. Zhang Yu was able to come in for the 3rd party and pick up the elimination there. Great 3rd party coming out from Zhang Yu there, is able to pick up an early elimination, keep the pressure on. And the only reason he doesn't turn around and continue to chase Shen Yuan there is simply because Alliance's Jin shows up and locks him down. He decides to just go and take the reset and back out while he waits for a better opportunity to go back in. GD's Mur there looking to find their way into this game, kind of struggling a little bit during our first 2 games, made it to the mid game last game, but then was eliminated by Kai Bao, and then our second game unfortunately was eliminated very early here. Zhuan Yu here looking for it again. Shenwan in a very similar situation as we saw our other Zping earlier, but does have the ultimate, does have the bubble available, and you know, when we're talking about Zping Yanks here, that's absolutely huge. They've got a lot of time to just continue and move on here. We're going to see them back off a little bit there, use the bubble to get some healing here. Wang Liang giving chase now. They're going to be forced to turn around and probably pop this ultimate before too long, but we're going to see a mini meter dump coming out from Shenwan on those nunchucks there. The backstab, though, going to lock it down. They need to find this elimination quickly, but Wang Liang going to be able to get out of that tiny little room, and we're going to see Shenwan here again. These Zping, nigh unkillable. They were so low. Everybody in that room, somebody finally finds the elimination, but with 3 people there all trying to kill you, you should have died way sooner than that in that tiny space. It's going to see Shenwan there, going to be forced to go ahead and take that resurrection. And now KLA's Fang here with 1 elimination under their belt. A little bit on the back foot, but able to create a huge amount of distance there with the grapple and nunchucks to get away from J-Team's Action, as Action looks for their own reset. T225, not sure what's going on here. Stunned, just standing still, but then pops the bubble all of a sudden, and it gets back into the game. T225 distracted by something there for a minute, but is able to pull it back together here. Looks like they're going to get the heals off and find the full reset. Ult still available. Mur trying to come in, is going to find the armor shredded completely off of T225. The bubble comes back out. T225 going to find quite a bit of space here. Mur looking for it here on Faria though, but it looks like T225 just going to give them the runaround and able to get a full reset off here, as Mur's not able to find them. The shield pot does come through. T225 now looking to turn this fight on them. We're going to see Staff versus Dagger here. Staff, a fairly decent weapon, but Mur able to find the parry into the zone. The bubble off cooldown already. Zping able to find almost another reset there. Ult available as well for T225, looking to get a little bit more there, is able to find a pot, turn things back around onto Mur. Mur holding on to the ultimate though, so might be able to pop onto them. T225 finally pops the ultimate here, goes back into the zone, knowing that that ult tick is going to buy them quite a bit of space, looks for an armor swap, not quite able to find it, is able to find a massive shield heal here though, pops the bubble again, waits for Mur to come in. That bubble immediately ripped off of them though. T225 going to be forced to go on the run again here. No safety blanket for them. 10 seconds till the bubble comes back up, and their ult completely on cooldown. They need to get things moving. They're able to find another shield pot, but Mur not willing to give up the chase.
Yeah, no, they have to be able to play this to their strengths here, and it looks like they will need to claim at least an elimination here. They've been struggling for these first 2 games here, so trying to see if they can claim an early elimination could be absolutely massive for them within this space. As Wang Liang with low on shield, and now it looks like he's going to be healed as the King is going to push in on Wang Liang. Wang Liang having a real big struggle here, trying to separate himself from the King. Beautiful grapples coming in, trying to see if he can separate himself as we go right back to Muir, who's fighting T225 here, trying to wait this out. T225 turns on Muir, trying to see if he can do it, but his spear comes down all the way towards the very section here, gets the ulti. The question is, will they have enough to be able to do anything here? T225 will go for the reset here. I didn't even realize that you can shield yourself in it too, which is also just as impressive as well. Could be very helpful, but sadly, it won't be enough to claim an elimination though, but at least it's able to keep her in the game and keep her game alive. Meanwhile, Wang Liang and the King all the way down at the bottom here. Looks like Zhang Yu, Jin, and Fang could be possibly fighting it out here in a moment here. Looks like ALei all the way up top is by themselves. So is Sorelgun and T225 on the far left sides of each corner here. So it looks like Jin trying to hold it together all the way with this one here. Let's see if they can find it out. All the way within, Zhang Yu trying to hold this together. 2 eliminations tied between Kai Bao, Wang Ling, and Zhang. 1 elimination tied between Fang Shiyang and Xin. Meanwhile, everybody else still trying to see if they can conjure up a 1 elimination, at least getting a score on the board for themselves before we get to the placements here. All the players still alive here. Muir trying to keep the same aggression onto T225, but T225 is giving her the same energy right back. And here comes the Chase. The Chase trying to put it together here. Numchuck's putting in massive amounts of damage. Trying to hold on here. Finds the shield swap. Beautiful opportunity to have one as well here. Beautiful dagger downs on a T225. And here comes the ulti coming through. Here comes that opportunity that could be very helpful for him, though, as she pushes in, trying to hold it together, keeping it all the way, pushes her into a corner here. Hits, beautiful hits on each side, and here comes the bubble to keep T225 alive as Muir sadly does get eliminated here as we go right back to the top of the order here inside of the arena here. Dangerously low, ALei trying to hold on and catching the elimination onto Ego. Ego trying to hold on here and doesn't want to leave without giving it their all. Ego trying to hold on, at least gets the bubble going. Trying to keep this game and this arena fight still in favor of them, but no, the pole sword doing so much massive damage. ALei trying to close in the gap here, trying to see if they can get the finish. Ego just trying to separate as best as possible, but ALei is not giving him really any space to try to get any form of heals off at all. And it's just getting closer and closer towards the elimination here, but Ego is just bouncing it back and forth, a little bit of a laugh, trying to hold on, gets a nice another bubble here, and another pit of shield, giving ALei a shot here. 13 seconds left on the clock, and it doesn't matter. It's Ego will still get eliminated by ALei. ALei is able to get all of their rewards under the Realm of Yang and comes out of the circle swinging.
Yeah, ALei there almost going to be forced into the depletion there. We see them, the Zping, just trying to buy time so that both of them are forced into depletion and nobody picks up the buff or the elimination. But ALei finally able to find a scale rush into a quick tap attack there and pick up the elimination. Is huge for ALei to finally be able to find that there. The King coming in here now as a massive 5-way fight breaks out here on the side of this wall. ALei's Fang here a little on the low side, going to be forced to back out, look for the reset, using that skywalk to get some huge distance as we turn now to TE's S Railgun, the player you were talking about earlier, who needs to find some of that early aggression coming out, and it's JL's ego here, who lost the Realm of Yang fight going head to head with Railgun, who also lost their early Yang fight. So both of these players fighting to get rid of that Yang depletion. A massive jump parry coming out from Railgun, uses the ult to follow up the combo into another set of hits here. Now using the katana here, crouching under those horizontal blows. Railgun just taking absolute control of this fight with no damage taken. Ego goes extremely low. Railgun puts him into the corner. They do have the F. If they can land the grab here, they don't even need it as they follow it up. They pick up the elimination on the Ego. That's going to be it for Ego, as Railgun is able to get rid of that Yang depletion and finds themselves back into this game with some early eliminations.
They needed that, honestly. SRL really needed that elimination. We were talking about it earlier, how he's been struggling in these first 2 games to really claim at least a single elimination to at least go towards the end of the game here, and he finally was able to break it and finally gets his first elimination in the early game here. Now back at it with XJin and Shuyang. Shuyang trying to hold on, and as he finally gets the parry that he needed, he's been waiting and holding on, trying to bait him as much as he could, and he was able to finally get it. Bubble comes out. Shuyang dangerously low here, is able to pop his now, and they're both fighting it out, just waiting for the opportunity to try to fight this out. Dangerously low on both sides here. As Shuyang is able to go for the heals, it looks like XJin is deciding not to go for the push, decides to go for the full shield and the reset here. Shuyang didn't even actually have the opportunity to pop his shield here. I don't think he actually has any shield, which is what he's actually going to go try to see if he can find and look for here, because he actually needed some. And it looks like it was a massive opportunity for XJin. XJin is going to be able to push in. Beautiful right click onto him. Gets him dangerously low here with that finish and that push. But he hits him with a massive damage onto it with the insane finish for the nunchucks. The question is it going to be enough? He pops the Q here, going for the beautiful shield, and is able to get a nice shield swap here. Could be helpful as XJin dangerously low, trying to be able to catch him with the juggle here, as ALei is going to come through at a beautiful time, but ends up getting shut down immediately by the parry of Shunyu. Unbelievable. These guys are fighting it out with the best of their abilities here, the micro and the macro, putting in so much time and effort here, and you can tell they have been absolutely practicing, putting in so much work, and now the resets come from everybody. The scale rush here, trying to see if he can claim something, but sadly he's not going to have enough here. Looks like they're going to be able to go for the reset here, but the staff trying to see if he can create any type of massive damage here, waiting for the third party here, gets for the juggle, the knee breaker comes through from ALei. ALei is able to shut down and claim the elimination, as XJin is going to be outside of the circle here, trying to struggle to get at least some heals off, and shield is able to pop some. Is able to go back around towards this rock here, maybe trying to see if maybe he can go for the reset here, maybe get more out of this opportunity here, as ALei is going to come through and start getting at XJin all the way up top here. Creates the bubble and the blue immediately. Beautiful defense on both sides are dangerously low. Pushes him outside of the circle, and he gets claimed again, as ALei is going to be able to pick up 2.
Yeah, huge here for TA's ALei. We saw earlier, though, they came in with that pole sword. And this was something we discussed earlier when we were talking about the selection of weapons and why we probably wouldn't see a lot of pole sword in solos. Was the weapon is very parryable when you're at a high level of skill like this. And that's exactly what we saw happen. And then they go back, they pick up the pole sword, put it back in their back pocket, and go, I'm going to swap the staff now, because that just weren't it, as they go in with that golden staff there, and ALei's able to pick up multiple eliminations, and sitting at the top of the leaderboard right now, tied for second place, is OC Zhang Yu, XCG's Wang Liang, and Wolves' Kai Bao. Unfortunately, J-Team's Action would be tied, but they were eliminated earlier on with their 2 eliminations under their belt. As we take a look, TE's Railgun finally able to pick up an elimination into the mid game, but ALei versus XCG's Wang Liang, the old hat versus the new hat. Going to be very interesting to see how this fight pans out. Both of them rocking the staff here. Lee able to find that vertical right click overhead onto Wang Liang to start it up. Is going to drop the ult there. Unfortunately, the teleport actually comes out, does not come through with the backstab onto ALei, but actually hits their ultimate pillar there. And unfortunate for Wang Liang, that actually cost them quite a bit, as they're forced to teleport back to avoid an attack there. Their ult and their F ability burned here, so ALei now needs to find a way to capitalize onto this. They actually still have their ult. They could easily go into it. There we go. The pillar comes down. They are going to find their ult, go into it. Going to pop Wang Liang out of the corner, looking for that opportunity again here. Just looking to shred them. Doesn't want to let Wang Liang continue to heal. Looking for it again. There it is. Pumping out tons of damage. But ALei has got to find some time to heal on their own, because Wang Liang just gonna continue to tank this damage and finds basically a full reset into this ult. That said, Wang Liang has a long timer before this ult is up. There it is. It's going to come down now, and Wang Liang has 8 seconds to win this fight, or both ALei and Wang Liang are going to be in Yang depletion. We're going to see the parry come in into the riposte, but both of them are going to go down. Nobody gets the buff. Both of them are going to pick up Yang depletion and need to go out and find that Soul Bloom with the quickness.
With the quickness at hand here, but Kai Bao gets hit with the quickness in the back with a bow twice. Absolutely shredding his shield here as he's getting caught between two dangerous sharks here. We got Fang and Rexy trying to see if they can claim the elimination on Kai Bao. Kai Bao trying to hold it together and goes for the portal. Beautiful separation here. He desperately needed that and did not want to get eliminated that early. Absolutely insane as Rexy is going to come through and finds Kai Bao. Kai Bao trying to push in here, dangerously low. Kai Bao trying to hold it together here, gets at least some type of shield, but sadly, wait. Oh, T25 ends up getting the elimination with a bow. Beautiful hit onto that one here. Absolutely insane finish, though, as Rexy looks like he's going to be able to go for a decent little reset here, but Fang and T225 trying to fight this out here, trying to collect any type of extra shields and heals as possible here. But man, oh man, that's unfortunate, though. Coming in, trying to see if he can get something here, but Kai Bao gets caught.
Kai Bao eliminated here, but I want to talk about how clean the execution was with the staff hit confirm into the uppercut, followed up into the hot swap with the greatsword double horizontal. It did so much damage. Had there not been other players there to dog him down, he actually could have turned that fight there. Unfortunately for Kai Bao, we are in some of the best caliber of play here for Naraka Bladepoint, and there are other players waiting in the wing. He's just not able to create the distance. T225 takes advantage of him slowing down to try to take a pot and is going to pick up the elimination with the bow there. We're going to see TK's ALei using the ult here just to buy space and get a reset. Actually is going to try to greed onto Wang Liang here, who's able to get down below. But ALei needs to find space to go for the reset here. He really wanted to chase this kill here, but unfortunately wasn't able to find it. Gets a little punished for it, but is able to go ahead and heal up off of it. Now Wang Liang gonna take a couple of shots here, and it leaves ALei in a great position to push onto Wang Liang as the mech comes down. Tries to get in. We do see Wang Liang cancel the pot, but it's so he can pick up the parry. Is going to pick up the legendary staff, but ALei turning it around with a spear is going to use those horizontal strikes to create some distance here. Picks up the shield off of Wang Liang. Wang Liang parries and it misses. ALei punishes it and picks up their 4th elimination here in game number 3.
Absolutely insane. Beautiful finishes coming through on each of these players, though, as now we're going to be pushing in towards our main map here, all the way up type here in Event Tide Temple here, as Rexy all the way on this side here, leading the pack as a lead with those 4 eliminations. We saw him claim those 2 from earlier here, so that was very, very helpful for him as he's going to be able to lead the pack here with those 4 eliminations. But let's go back to this replay here for what we didn't see from earlier. SRL and XGen fighting this out inside of the realm of Yang here, putting in a whole lot of pressure here as XGen able to close this gap in between him and SRL. SRL trying to hold it together as best as he can, but I mean, the combos coming in from XGen, it was absolutely amazing here. So SRL looks like he wants to try to at least get some type of revenge here for later on within these games here, as the cannon shots ricocheting on all different sections here, all the way within it. But XGen sadly is eliminated in these games here, and SRL is still alive with 1 elimination, 1.8, but at least he has 1 score on the board. So at least he has something. We were just talking about that earlier, how he's been struggling so hard to find something here. And now look, he's able to at least get 1, and sometimes it's all you need just to get that motor running.
Absolutely. We're going to see ALei here once again finds themselves a nice full reset, as we're going to see ALei's Fang at topside here. Fang with only 1 elimination under their belt right now. And still, Fang, come on, we got to talk about these white daggers, man. I know you're a dagger enjoyer. You know what I'm saying? I enjoy a little dagger myself every once in a while. But you can't be running around this stage of the game with a white dagger. I'm sure he's got something else in his back pocket, but as long as he's just using it for movement, I don't want to see him make the same mistake he made early last game, because he doesn't have that safety blanket anymore, right? He's going to use the ult pillar to cover this so he can pick up the legendary armor. Using the dagger for movement, is going to get away here. We're going to see T225 also favoring the dagger. We saw them come in, pick up the legendary armor. Wasn't able to pick up that legendary longsword, though. Feng trying to come back in. He's got that pillar down, but again, still rocking the white dagger here, and the legendary armor has been mostly shredded off of him here. He's down to 1.5 ticks left on the full armor there, but Feng able to create some distance, goes bot side looking to get some resets here. He's holding on, able to find those pots. Feng able to get there, but now needs to get out of the edge of this Bane's Breath because he's not in a great position. Stuck on the inside. If that Bane's Breath comes down, it's going to be bad for Feng there. Is Feng going to reposition out of the Bane's Breath? ALei going to do the same. ALei really setting themselves up for success here. They've got that legendary staff. They've got the cannon in the back pocket as well if they need those range shots, as well as picking up that legendary set of armor. Feng really in a great place here. Now we're going to see Reki moving across, looking for anything. Reki a little behind in the gear. As we take a look, 8 players left alive as Zone 4 collapses on to Zone 5. Feng going to go out the window here. Doesn't really want to give himself away too much. Doesn't really get a whole lot out of that, though, going out of the back window instead of the front. Nobody really watching him, but again, still using the dagger for movement here. He's got the pistol in his back pocket. I want to see if he's got something else in his backpack. I really do. He's got to have something else that's not a white weapon. There's no way Feng is just holding on to this white dagger and it tends to fight people with it coming into the end game. He's got to have learned from his mistakes there in game number 2.
Oh, absolutely. Even with that, though, he still is able to learn something, though, at least with each of these games here. You know, every single game is a learning experience, and each season always gets even a little bit better and sometimes harder, depending on what these players can do and bring to the table to try to shake things up on the board, as we talk about it all the time here as ALei. Looks like he's going to do a nice little slide down. Goes inside this quick HUD, goes for a nice little reset here, trying to just hold on for as long as possible here. Doesn't really want to force any fights here. He has the lead and doesn't really want to take any more fights. And Feng still in a similar situation here. He has some lemons on the board as well here. And also doesn't want to really force fights if he needs to. But here we are, top of Hall of Penitence in Eventide Temple. As we look at the leaderboard here, seeing ALei with those 4 eliminations, 2 separating from Xiangyu and 2 T225, 1 elimination from Feng and S-Rail, and 0 coming in from the King, Rexy, and Jin. So those 3 need to be able to try to see if they can capture something. As Feng, beautiful backflip up the wall over there. I love the new movements coming in from some of these players here, as it looks like we're still going to be able to see it here. The question is he going to push in on Jin here? It looks like he is waiting for the opportunity here. Doesn't want to get caught by a parry, though. But he does have that gold, so he does have a beautiful chance for the recovery if he really needs to here. Looks like they're just still dancing around it as best as they can here.
I swear I'm going to send Feng a picture or a shirt with a picture of just a white dagger on the front of it. He has a purple longsword in his backpack, and the longsword being quite meta right now in solos, honestly, and he's still trying to force engagements with the dagger. I have no qualms with players using the dagger for movement the way he's been using the daggers for movement, but he's engaging off of this purple dagger. We're gonna see it here. He's doing it right now with Ventus's Rexy. Rexy gonna back away here. He's got the longsword, gonna just continue the movement here. And this white dagger, man, it's gonna become Feng's thing. I'm telling you right now. Absolutely okay seeing him use it for movement, but he's got to start engaging with that better tier gear, man. We're sitting here Zone 5 collapsing onto Zone 6, and
maybe he doesn't want to force using his repairs.
Well, yeah, that's the other thing too, is like if he's gonna have to repair that white dagger a ton, right? Because it's got a much lower durability, so every engagement he takes on it, he's spending repair kits to keep it fully repaired, and you can see here that it is fully repaired right now. He's costing himself resources and he's costing himself damage. I get it for using it for movement tech, but I'm gonna harp on him for using this white dagger. It's not optimal.
I mean, sometimes even in these situations, though, you have to be able to know like which ones are going to be more worth it in these fights here. And sometimes you don't really want to force them if you don't absolutely have to. And I think that's kind of what he's using it for, at least for right now. I feel like you have a very similar observation in terms of what you think. Like, hey, I think it'd be better for you to be using it more than anything. And maybe it's just not in that moment here. But as we're seeing the circle start to getting ready to close in here, we have about another 45 seconds left before Circle 6 starts to close in, and this is where things start to get a little bit more hasty. All in between these fights here, you know, we talk about the movements and how people play. And sometimes it's just a matter of just being smart here. And he might be deciding to use it towards the very end here, which sometimes, even for me, I think that's possibly good. Go for these fights, because most of the time they're not really committing to these fights. They're not really committing to forcing and trying to see if they can claim an elimination. But the moment there's an actual open moment for any type of close elim, that's when you pull out the gold. That's when you start to go in, and that's when you really can try to push in. But everybody's really playing the same game here. Now, if this was like earlier in the game, then I would understand. Like, it's too early to be relying on your gray. You should be using your gold. You should be maximizing as much movement and as much damage as possible to create those eliminations. But I don't know about doing it like in this type of instance. And as the king ends up getting shredded by ALei up top, ends up throwing him down all the way towards the other side here. T225 and Esrael fighting this out. Here's Rexy also fighting this out with Zhang Yu. Zhang Yu trying to keep the pressure on Rexy as much as possible, forces the bubble on each side here, and it looks like Rexy is sadly going to get eliminated by Zhang Yu, claiming another elimination, making that number 3 for him, as Zhang Yu gets caught on the outside here by Fang. Fang trying to get anything from that pack here. Zhang Yu dangerously low here, is going to need to force something here for his heals, but Fang is going to keep that same momentum onto him, though. It's not going to really let him breathe. Gets hit with massive damage, though, but it looks like it wasn't too much, as T225, the king, and Zhang Yu all the way down at the bottom here. Zhang Yu taking that little bit of an opportunity here to get some heals up, and so is the king, not actually forcing a fight all the way down. And let's see what happens, though, all the way towards this end, as they're going to wrap around here. The Jin trying to see if they can hold it. Is ALei all the way up top here, trying not to force as much fights as he needs to. Doesn't really need to claim anything here, as he does have... He's in a beautiful place to be here, but obviously the circle is going to be very unforgiving here, as it's going to push in 24 seconds. So even within this space here, what's the best thing that you might need to do in these situations? You got to be able to fight this out and hold on. But it looks like they have the better opportunity here all the way towards the bottom here. They don't really need to force these fights. Everybody's trying to focus on the high ground, but the bottom might actually be where you might need to be, at least in this certain moment currently. Within this meta here, as everybody's just focusing on healing. Fang just trying to hold on. Zhang Yu dangerously low. T25 on the chase, trying not to get finished here, as it looks like he is going to be... Oh, the beautiful berry ends up getting targeted immediately by 2 other players, and the shots from bows on each side here as the circle's going to close in. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. ALei holding on all the way towards the end, and here comes the grapples, just trying to keep the game alive for himself. T225, the grappling on each other, trying not to land all the way down the bottom here. Is Esrael and Jin trying to hold on. ALei is going to be able to join in for the rest of the pack here, and it looks like he's going to throw down something as well here. And here comes the ulti coming in. That massive mech coming through from massive damage here, puts up so much from each player here, as ALei is able to hold it together, and so is Fang able to repeat and do the exact same thing. And now it's just nothing but turrets trying to find at least anything here, as Fang is able to claim something from another player. ALei sadly gets claimed from the limb from each side here, but it looks like it really could be anybody's game. But it looks like ALei is probably going to be our top #1 finisher here, because I don't think Zhang Yu actually claimed another elimination. Yes.
I gotta talk about this.